It's going to be a baller podcast today. We're joined by Giacomo, who's flown all the way from the US to Dubai. He has scaled his fitness business from zero to over $60,000 a month with less than 2,000 followers. Today, we're going to dig into his story, his background, and exactly how he's broken the rules, I would say, in terms of building an online fitness business, because he's done exactly what people say you can't do. So firstly, welcome for your time here today, Giacomo. You came to our event this weekend. What's been your initial experience in terms of Dubai?
Dubai has been absolutely amazing. It's been an eye-opener. And for somebody like me who, I don't really care where I am. Like I tell this to my family, they're asking like, oh, where do you want to live? I don't really care because it's my internal environment that I really focus on. Like, doesn't matter where I'm located, I'm going to do the same thing every day. You know, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to go to the gym, and come home and I'm going to work. So it doesn't matter if I'm on the beach or if I'm in the city, but Dubai is different because everybody here, not everybody, most people have that mentality where it's like they're here to do work, they're here to build something, but it just so happens to be in a really beautiful environment. So being surrounded by other people with that ambition, that mindset, it's a nice kind of pressure. It's like, okay, and similar to being in a big gym with bigger guys, like it just motivates you to work harder and think like there's more that's possible. So being in Dubai is like, there's so much that's possible. There's so much wealth out there, and it's really just up to you if you want it or not.
That's 100% agree. And I think one of the things people have a massive misbelief about is that there's a lack of resources in the world. It's like there's no lack of resources. It's just you just don't have the resourcefulness to go and get them.
Yes. So I had a client. This was back before I joined the program, and I kind of like was mentoring him. Like he was psychologically disturbed, and so I'd kind of help him. Like, hey man, there's so much out there, you know, because he thought he was stuck. And I told him, I was like, dude, I'm going to be doing this. Like, I'm going to find it. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to find people. There's people with money. And he just kept on saying, nah, dude, people don't have the money for that. People, it's just not going to work. I said, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to do it. Like it's just a mindset thing. Like to him, he didn't understand that there's so much world out there. There's so much wealth, but you come out here and it's like a no-brainer. Of course there's wealth. Like you see the buildings going up every day. Like there's money everywhere. So it's really just you that you're creating this box around your own environment, and just break the walls. You'll see the world is pretty damn big.
I think that's the biggest thing. You mentioned the walls. Most people create a mental prison for themselves. They can't escape because limiting beliefs are keeping them. They're like almost like head submerged below the water and they're drowning. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, what you need is someone or something to change and pull you out that water to change your environment.
100%. I could go off in a lot of directions with that. Like the box that you build is your ego. You know, whatever you think you are, doesn't matter what thought it is, as long as you can think about who you are, that's the ego, and that's not true. You're not who you think you are, right? I've personally had like 4 ego deaths before I was 20 years old. So whoever I was growing up, like gone. So just trying to rebuild like who you are every time, you realize like it's literally up to you. Whatever you want, you can become.
So this is interesting. So one of the things I think about a lot is that every 3 years I kind of evolve into another variation of myself, but I'm constantly thinking about like, what is the next variation of me, and trying to like slowly morph into that person, if that makes sense.
I would say for me, it's like every 6 months. Okay. And it's pretty obvious, like even to my friends, like every few months, I'm doing something new. I'm doing something different, and it's built on the experiences that I've had before, but I get bored of it. Yeah. I'm like, this is such an outdated version of me. Like I've learned so much. If I don't move forward, it's a sin. Like it's sad, you know, and it's the opposite of complacency. It's like, I'm uncomfortable being comfortable. If that makes sense.
I'm smiling, not trying to laugh, because it's the same thing with me. If everything is going too well and everything is great, it's then kind of when I wouldn't use the term get bored, but I don't want to be in a position where I don't have anything to do. Yeah. So then I enjoy the chase and the hunt of things in life, not just like catching it. So I think that's a big thing. I think the analogy of the person who enjoys walking will walk further than the person who's walking like a set distance, or whatever the expression is, because you actually enjoy the process.
Yeah. And the thing is, most people, I mean, we're all humans. We all have similar brain chemistry. We all do better with a goal when we're working towards something, when we're in a journey. But the people that say, I'm happy here, they're not happy. They're just lying to themselves.
So people, when they say that, have just given up on themselves.
Yeah. They've already died.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I mean, to me, that's what growing old is. It's saying like, yeah, I'm good here. Like, really? You're good? Like, you're happy?
Quick interjection into the podcast. I know a lot of people watching the podcast haven't yet subscribed. I have one small favor, so to help us get bigger and better guests to give you more value, is hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it massively. So you mentioned, obviously, you evolving into different variations of you.
Yeah.
For context for anyone watching and listening to this, what were you doing before you went into online fitness?
Great question. Maybe I should give a little bit of background of like how I got there. So I got into fitness when I was 14. I was insecure. I liked this girl. Didn't feel good enough to talk to her.
Standard story.
Yeah. Yeah, right? And so I started working out. I was chubby. It wasn't like fat, but I was chubby. And lost some weight, got into martial arts, had a coach. He was like, you should lift weights, lifted weights, got chronic pain, right? Got like tendonitis in both shoulders, got numbness and tingling down both my arms, neck pain, like breathing pain, everything. Nobody could fix me. I went to all the medical practitioners in the US, like physicians, physiatrists, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists, you name it. None of them could do a thing. So that was when I was 15. I said, if nobody can fix me, I'm a 15-year-old healthy guy, then something's not right here. Either they're incompetent or something's wrong with me. Turns out they're incompetent. Okay. And like, that sounds crazy, but it's the sad truth. So I thought I could be a better physical therapist than these people because I know so much about it and I could talk circles around them, basically. So I got accepted into a PT program when I was 17. My path was kind of paved at that early age. If you know, like when you're 17 and you're a guy, you're not very mature. You don't know yourself, right? You're just a kid. So when I got into PT school, I was like, it's a little bit scary because I don't really feel passionate about this. They never helped me. Why am I going into this field? This was such like an egotistical thing for me to say I could be a better PT and now devote my entire life to it, right? So it always felt kind of silly.
Yeah.
But I did meet a mentor and he helped me figure out what's going on. And that's what I was talking about, the book Breath. It has to do with that.
Okay.
So he helped me fix myself. And then I said, okay, this is something I could do in PT. So maybe I'll stick with it. So I get the doctorate. Right before I graduated, I did a bodybuilding show because I was feeling good. And I was like, PT is boring. So let me do something else. Then once I graduated, I worked in a retirement community. Okay. Did outpatient, skilled nursing, and assisted living. So like very comfortable job, like maybe 7 hours a day, getting paid like really good for what a PT does. And that was just comfort. Like I just wanted something that I could do where I could go to the gym before the rush, and that was it. That was like the most depressing time though. Like comfort kills, really. Like that's the definition of right there. Being in a place where everything is predictable and nothing changes.
What you just said there, the reason it kind of made me smile is because I remember one of the whole reasons I wanted to get out of my full-time job was so I could go to the gym when I wanted.
Yeah, right.
Which is so fucking ironic.
It's freedom.
Yeah.
It's like I can do what I want when I want, which is also ironic because when you own a business, like you have to deliberately make the time for that. I used to work 35 hours as a PT and it was soul crushing. Like I knew this wasn't for me. So then to answer your question, what happened was when I first was working, I knew I wanted to start a business. I didn't know what it would look like, whether it would be PT or fitness or bodybuilding. I don't know. So I had like a couple clients that I would coach that were like friends. And then maybe like a year ago, I told my buddy, I'm launching the business today. And he said, cool. What does that mean? I was like, fuck, he's right. What does that mean? Like, what does it mean to launch the business? That I went public?
Yeah,
I made an Instagram page, like big whoop, right? But that truth like hit me. I was like, he's right. There's something else I have to do. So I started like posting and here and there, but nothing really intense. Got a girlfriend. That slowed things down. So when I broke up with her in January, that's when I was like, hey, dude, remember you said you were going to do that business? Why don't you do that for real?
Was that to yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because like before I met her, that was the goal. And then I got too comfortable and I was like, oh, my life's pretty easy. Like I could get a girlfriend and that would just be like an extra like bonus, But it's just soul crushing. Like that's not what I wanted to do. I had all this ambition. Like let me put it into something productive, something that could build and grow. So January I broke up with her and then started like posting more. And I had a friend that helped me and was like, you should do this, this, this. Listen to him. I'm a dog. Like, you tell me do the work. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then what was it? March, I was going on TikTok, doing lives, getting leads that way, but like not many, maybe one a week. Quit my job in March just because I wanted to devote more energy to it. I was like, doing PT is not going to help me. So let me just completely put my energy and time into what's going to grow in maybe a year or two, you know, thinking it's going to take time. Didn't work out. After like 4 months, I was making maybe like $1,000 a month. Like, it was nothing. And that was if I was lucky. And this is funny because I mentioned this to somebody yesterday. July came, okay? And I'm laying in bed and my clients are dropping like left and right. And I'm like, how do I keep up with this? How do I get leads? Because I can't do it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm not going viral. People aren't coming up to me or like in the DMs. Like, what do I do? And then your ad popped up.
It's like the algorithm knows.
Yeah, well, it does, right?
Yeah.
So I'm laying in bed and I'm like, shit, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? You pop up and I'm like, he gets it. Like, I could just feel your energy. I was like, he's like me. He understands. So that's why I trusted you.
Yeah.
Like, and there's so many like businesses out there trying to do the same thing, but it was like an energy thing. I just knew like, yeah. It's the confidence. Like, he knows what he's doing. He speaks with authority. That's the way to do it. So
sorry, hold on that for one second, because we spoke earlier about like communication, the importance of that.
Yes.
So you mentioned the certainty in the way I speak.
Exactly.
What specifically with that stood out to you?
Yeah. Like, I speak the same way. Like, when I have something to tell somebody, it's like, I'm the expert. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is because I know other people, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's just this like, it's confidence. It's the tone. It's the way if you're confident about something, you can intonate it in a bunch of different ways because you're comfortable with the idea. It's like you're an artist now, right? Whereas if I give you a script for the first time, you're going to read it like, the dog jumped over the cat, right? It's very, because you're not a pro at it. But when you know the material so well and you're passionate about it, you can become an artist with how you communicate it. So I could tell that in your ads even.
So that's a really good thing to kind of touch upon, and also why once people have a certain skill set, you shouldn't fully script things.
Right.
So for example, a lot of our ads, I'll just have a hook and I'll just go because I know the framework in my head without it will just kind of come. And that's kind of like the 10,000 hour rule. Like, when you've done enough volume of something, you eventually can just autopilot go through it.
And your personality comes across way more intensely. You know, like when I first started doing videos, and maybe this is part of the success, and we can get toward like what actually happened, but when I would make videos, it was just stuff that I believed in. And it was just information that I wanted to give people because there's so much bullshit out there. I was like, let me come in here and just tell people the truth. And somebody will be like, oh, finally, he clarified that for me. You know, so it was never scripted. Like, I knew an idea and I just wanted to get it across. So I'd go on camera and just speak to it, like talking head, you know, very simple.
And that's the beauty of simple content, and also when you come from an authentic place. Because like, a lot of time I'll say to Michael, like, I got this sick idea, I want to do this. Like, I messaged you this morning about a video idea of like, this is fucking sick, we should do this. And I get excited with ideas, but also like I'll see something that pisses me off that I know is completely wrong, with like people giving really shit advice. And I'm like, I need to almost right the wrong that someone else is making, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and the beauty is there's something called like Brandolino's principle.
Okay.
It's so much easier, exponentially easier to put out bullshit than it is to disprove something. Like, the amount of effort it takes to disprove somebody's myth is way more than it takes to put out just a lie. So there's always going to be, in fitness especially, I mean, an infinite amount of BS that we can come in and just swipe to the left, swipe to the right, but it takes effort. So as long as we have uneducated people out there, like, we're going to have a job.
100%. So from there, obviously you saw our ad, and then what was your first thought on whether like I should do this or I shouldn't do this?
Yeah, so I'm the kind of person where when I pick something, like, I go for it. I'm all in. I'm focused. Like, my focus and my discipline are my top two traits. Like, it could be the most boring thing ever. If you put it in front of me and I know why I'm doing it, that's all I'm going to do. So when I finally, like, you know, set up the call and everything, there was no selling. I was just ready to go. Like it was like the decision to bet on myself. That's what it came down to. And I knew already, like, this is all I want to do. So why wouldn't I do it? If somebody came up to me with the opportunity and I turned it down, I'm the idiot. You know, like if you ask for water and somebody hands you a drink, drink it. Are you thirsty or no?
It's funny you say that, because the amount of times people have a problem and they still don't want a solution. And it's ultimately it's their own lack of self-belief that stops them taking the next step, and they get crippled by fear.
Yes.
Is that something you've ever had, or have you always had very strong self-belief?
Yeah. I talked about this at the event a little bit. Like, I've always had very strong self-belief, and I kind of ask myself, like, why? Like, what makes me different? Why do I believe this way? I do accredit it to my parents. Like, they've always praised me and told me how good I've been. And so, like, that praise, it just kind of, it's not brainwashing, it's programming. It's like, you are worth it. You are valuable. You are something special. And like, not that everybody is special, because nobody's special, but to be told like you are doing something good, you know, that positive affirmation, even when I think like this is just normal, it just kind of built this environment of, oh, people see your work and value it. And if you believe that, then you know that whatever you do, it's going to be worth something. So I think a lot of people, they don't have that. They don't have, like, they put in the effort, but they never get to see it come to any kind of like fruition. It just flatlines, you know? So going to school, you know, I always did well in school, and my parents were always like, great job, you know? Or, you know, you go to physical therapy school, you got your doctorate, awesome. Like, you killed it. All this stuff, you know, they want to celebrate me. I don't want to celebrate it, because to me it's expected, but they want to celebrate. I'm like, oh, this is what society rewards. Doing stuff that other people think is hard, but if it's not hard to you, then it's a no-brainer. Just do it.
What you said there is incredibly funny, because a lot of people talk about like, oh, it's so hard to do X, Y, Z. I'm like in the fitness realm, for example, and even in business, it's harder for me not to go to the gym than it's harder for me not to work than it is to work, because I enjoy the things that I do. And also I'm probably an addict and addicted to doing them, because I like the positive reinforcement feedback loops. And I think one of the reasons a lot of people don't get the positive reinforcement feedback loops is they don't do the thing long enough to know if they're actually good at it, if that makes sense. So like, for example, you and me could be the greatest volleyball players in the world, but we had a fucking no idea, because we've never played it long enough to know that. If that makes sense.
I believe it doesn't matter what it is. If I took an interest in it, I could be a pro. Like, truly, that's what I believe. And it might sound delusional, but like, what's the difference between Michael Jordan or LeBron or, you know, Elon? Like, they all just did the work again and again and again, and they believe in themselves. And because they've done it long enough, you see the fruits. Like, they didn't, I'm sure they had doubts, but did they believe the doubts? No.
Quick introduction to the podcast. I want to make this specifically for you to help you achieve everything you want in life. So I have one small ask. Let me know what you actually want. If there's anything you want to see specifically on the podcast, drop it in the comments. If there's anything you specifically want to learn about in the podcast, drop it in the comments. Or message me on Instagram. Now back to the podcast. They outworked themselves that, and they just fucking did it anyway.
Yeah.
So a lot of time, if I ever have moments, I'm like, this is a lot, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it anyway. And it's that expression of like, action beats anxiety.
Yes.
A lot of people get crippled by anxiety, and the easiest way to get out of that is just to fucking win and do the thing.
Right. Because
you then get the dopamine hit, which human beings are wired for, that you then forget you were anxious anyway.
Exactly. That's the concept, like in like Japanese, like they call it Kaizen.
Yeah.
You know about that, right? And that's so true. And again, it goes back to like, we all have similar brain chemistry. These things aren't new. Like, we know if you're depressed, go do something. You know, like, it's very, and I'm not trying to be a psychiatrist. Like, I'm not licensed in that. But are you better off thinking about your problems or going and doing something? The answer is always do something. Even if you go to a therapist, they're not going to tell you, I want you to go home and I want you to just think about what you told me. No, they're going to say, great, what are we going to do now? Because if you're not taking any steps, nothing's going to change. So even if you have all these problems, great, what are you going to do about them? Are you going to let them build up and just crush you because of the anxiety it creates? Or are you going to take that energy and turn it into something productive? And people, they get stuck in that like feeling of this is so bad. Like, this is why I'm like this. Great. What are you going to do? You're going to let this ruin the rest of your life? That's sad. People, they don't want to like, they want the answer of why am I like this? Doesn't matter. What did it create? That matters. They say like, judge something by the fruits, not the roots, right? We all have different roots. But what are the fruits, right?
I think also everyone should take context to anything that's shitty that's maybe happened in your past, or any chip on your shoulders you have, is create the person you are now. So like those things are often blessings or can be turned into blessings. But it's just your perspective and how you frame things that's very important.
Exactly.
And I think I spoke about this a bit at the event, but like the shit phase in business is like the first 0 to 10K a month, because you have the least amount of skills, you have the least amount of resources, and it's fucking the hardest part because you've got no momentum. It's like trying to get a rocket off the ground. You need as much thrust to try and get going.
Right.
And when you first started, you went very, very quickly. So what happened in your first 30 days?
Yeah. So once I joined the program, I was a little bit overwhelmed because I was like, my content sucks. You know, like there's so much I have to fix. My business is not set up right. There's so much I need to organize. And that was like 4 or 5 days that I felt that overwhelming like feeling. And I remember being in the gym and somebody who's going to be a coach for me, he asked me, he's like, how's everything going? I was like, dude, there's so much work to do. And then like a week later, everything was different. So what did I do? I watched all your videos, like everything you put up, everything Aiden put up, everything Taz put up. I watched everything because that's how I am. Like if I do something, I got to do it all. So I learned everything. I implemented everything right away. And the biggest like catalyst really for making business happen and making the money was Urtaz's video about DMs. Because all he had to say was, you know, most of people's time on Instagram is not spent on like the grid or whatever. It's in the DMs. I was like, okay, didn't know that. And he said the only way to book a call, to get a sale, is to be in the DMs, and that you have to reach out to them. I didn't understand that. That's a very simple concept. I bet anybody watching this right now, like, just do that. Like, it'll change everything. But knowing how to do that, right? You can't just go up to somebody, hey, you want to buy my program? Like, it's not going to work. But him telling me, not directly, you need to be in the DMs. That is where I spent all my time. When I woke up at 7. You said to train in the morning so you could focus on business. I did that pretty quickly. I was like, he's right. If I train in the middle of the day, it screws up my whole momentum. And then I even broke down my meals. I used to do 4 meals a day. I do 3 meals now because it takes time to eat. So I just moved everything to the front, wake up, 7 o'clock, on my phone, DMing, you know, at the gym, DMing, doing cardio, DMing. And then when I got home, the same thing, just DMing all day long. Wasn't tracking my DMs. So like they asked me how many I did. I was like, I don't know. Like I've just been doing it all day long.
As much as possible.
Yeah. Like,
which is a better answer, transparently.
I mean, it's honest. Is it the most efficient? Maybe not. You know, there's probably a smarter way to do it.
So this is where you and me have very similar personalities, and Mike probably agree with behind the camera. As my thing has always been like fucking brute force violence. Yeah. Of like, well, if this works, I'm just gonna do as much as possible until the thing fucking breaks.
Yeah.
Like if I can post one thing and it gets me a client, then I'll just post as many as physically possible.
Keep on going.
Yeah.
Keep on going. And so that, and I'm very good at like putting on blinders. Like if somebody says this is the answer, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to bash the hell out of this answer and just keep on going for it. So with the DMs, I mean, I was relentless. And after I hit up all my followers, I was like, did I really squeeze out every ounce? Nah, I'll go back, you know, follow up. There's other people that I discounted. I thought they wouldn't be good. Go back to them. Like every single person, there's no stone left unturned. And I think that's another thing where it's like, you have to want it as bad as breathing. If you don't, then you're going to leave opportunities untouched. And so like every interaction I have with people in the gym, I'm like, this could be something. Every text conversation, like this could be something. And that's something you said, like when you're going, what's the 0 to 5K?
Yeah.
Like it's all about that, like taking advantage of these small opportunities.
So I'll give you some great examples for this and from our fitness business and our business helping trainers. So when I was focusing on fitness coaching, I would run ads specifically to the areas where I would go to the gym.
Yeah.
So anyone who went to that gym, they would see me and recognize me.
Warm.
And I would talk to as many people as possible. And I would tag the gyms in all the stories. So they would post me on all their stories.
Yeah.
So people would come to my profile and they're kind of like in my funnel. Now, when I travel, for example, when I go to Vegas quite a lot, when I go to Vegas, I'll start running ads specifically to Vegas to fitness trainers. And I literally, when I was there in January, I had this guy come up to me. He's like, I saw your ad today. It's like, can we talk? And then it's like signed up as a client. I had like maybe like 2 or 3 people that happened that because you'll pop up on their phone. They'll be like, wait a minute, fucking dude. Like, it's so that's where you can engineer your own success in life, because if someone sees you online and then they also see you in person, they don't suddenly see like, it's not fugazi, like you're a real person.
Right.
It adds actual credibility to everything.
Absolutely. And it's a lot easier, I think, to work with somebody when they know you in real life already, because they're already warm. They know that you're a person. They know that you're a real guy. Whereas if you're online and you just see somebody's profile, you're like, this guy could just be an influencer. This guy could be, a fake AI. Who knows? So like when I first started, a lot of my big ticket stuff was just people I knew, and I was like a little bit of imposter syndrome for like maybe like a couple days. I was like, I haven't really sold anything big to somebody I don't know. Once I got over that, I mean, it just, ran with it.
The first 30 days, correct me, did you do 17K or something?
17 sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second month was 30.
So you went month 1 from 0 to 17K.
Yeah.
How many followers did you have at that point?
I would say like 600.
So like the follower to revenue ratio is fucking wild.
It's nuts.
And then month 2 you did 30K, and then we were probably maybe
800.
Yeah. So it's like
still not going viral.
No, but it also shows that it's not about how many views you get, it's who views your content and who comes into your funnel.
The quality, the quality of the person watching it, and how much they trust you.
What do you think you do differently than other people to elicit more trust?
Yeah. All right. Well, for full transparency, I have a doctor in front of my name.
Okay, well that helps. Yeah.
Right. So there's that. There's the way I speak. Like, I mean, it's not just online; it's in real life too. Like, I like to talk, and it's something I take pride in. Like, to me, speaking is a performance. It's an art. So I want to be like really, really good at it, just like with everything else I do. So my communication is something that I really, really take pride in. And how do you convey that in a video? How do you convey that in a DM? Like, that's where I put my energy. I love making videos. I was just telling Mike, like, I take my friend with me and we go to the gym, we go to my house, and like, I'm having a blast. I'm laughing like every other like video because it's just fun for me. Yeah. It's just like expressive. So I think the credibility and the trust comes from it's me being me. I'm not trying to front anything. Like, this is me. This is what I believe. I'm trying to show you the truth because there's just so much bullshit out there. Like, it does come from a good place. Like, I just want to tell people, like, you are really close to your goals. People make it seem so hard. It's not. Put your blinders on. This is what you need to do, and do it.
It's so funny because we think exactly the same. So even from like a business perspective, it's like book sales call, close sales calls, get to like 50K a month, come back and we'll figure out the next thing to do. Like, and it's the same thing. Everything in life is generally very, very simple, but it just doesn't mean it's not hard work. Exactly. The reality is people don't want to do the hard work or the boring work. And why you've crushed is you have the ability to be focused and just be consistent and just keep fucking doing the thing.
Right.
And not look for some magical unicorn riding into the room that's suddenly going to mean you don't have to do anything and you can just chill at the beach all day.
Exactly. It's the boring stuff. Even with the gym, like people that program hop, like they're not going anywhere because they don't want to be in a boring state. Like, they don't want to do the stuff that it feels emotionally resistant. Like, there's that friction. It's like, oh, I don't want to do this again. Like, again this week? Like, yes, again this week. Like, that feeling, that's what you need to go towards. That uncomfortability. And Dom spoke about this at the event. Like, whatever there feels some kind of resistance, that's the thing that you need to go towards. That's your compass. Whether it's in business and relationships, in the gym, like, the resistance is your compass. Go towards it and you'll become a completely different person.
The thing there's a saying, I think it's from Joseph Campbell's book, and it's the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek.
100%.
It's like, you need to just go and do the shit you don't want to do.
Yes.
And you deep down, like, your insecurity and your ego is like, I don't want to fucking do this thing. That's the thing that gets you to the next level of you.
Exactly. I had an experience when I was younger maybe like 17, 16, and there was, this was an ego death. And there was a part of me where I was like, it was like me crying and I was afraid to like show something. And I kind of confronted that version of myself. I was like, what are you actually afraid of? Like, what is it? And once I realized like there was nothing that I really cared about, like, doesn't matter what people think of me, doesn't matter what I think of myself, like, it doesn't matter, that faded away. And there's like the fear of doing something or not doing something just faded away. So fear is the only thing. It's what are you afraid of? Realize that it's not even a real thing and then get over it. Just go.
You mentioned their fear and then also not being afraid of other people's judgment. One of the things a lot of people struggle with specifically is around content and being in front of camera, and even maybe what like friends and family think. Yeah, is that something you ever had any challenges with, or?
Not really, to be honest. Like, you know, being a physical therapist and then going on camera and people are like, I thought he was a PT. Like, I kind of had to rebuild myself and rebuild my identity because people had no idea what I was doing even. And then I like at one point I was doing both. I was doing PT and fitness. So at one point I cut it off and I was like, I'm not doing PT. It's just fitness. If you want to lose weight, this is what I'm doing. Was there any friction to getting on the camera now? I've always liked going on camera. You asked me to be on a podcast and I was like, fuck yeah.
and also talk at our event and you fucking
I mean, so like, that was so funny because I don't know if it was purposeful or not intentional, but I didn't have a slide deck or any kind of presentation. And so when I saw the people going up, I was like, oh, did they forget to tell me? so I'm like, but that made me even happier. And I was like, oh, great. I can do what I want to do. I can just go up and be me, you know? So I had a lot of fun doing it.
Do you think a lot of people just aren't being themselves, which is why they maybe struggle?
100%. Well, why? Why are they afraid to be themselves? That's the thing. And it's, you know, there's some judgment they had when they were younger and they hold on to that and it just kills them. It's sad. They're just holding on to the past. You know, like if I do this, maybe this will happen. Cool. You want to focus on the negatives? Then that's probably going to happen. What could go right? Think about that.
And that's such an American attitude to have versus like the British thing is like, you're a fucking scammer. Yeah. I can never do this. Yeah. Like, I want to get my lawyers to look at everything. I'm like, dude, like if you have these type of mindset from the beginning, this is not going to work because internally you're looking for an excuse to in your head of like why this won't work.
Right.
And whenever I've worked with anyone with anything, I've always been like, gone in the mentality of like, I'm the best fucking client they've ever seen.
Yes. And
I want them to be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Yes. So like, which is also kind of why you remind me of myself. Because I remember when I first joined like a program maybe in 2020 that they gave me a list of stuff I had to do. I literally did it in like 12 hours. I was like, what do you want me to do next? And they were like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Like, he's like autistic.
Yeah.
Like the fucking accountant, Rain Man. But I just gunned it. And I think that's also one of the things that really stood out to me with you is you execute very quickly. And my best piece of advice for anyone out there is that I started coaching online when I was like 28 maybe. And one of the big pains I had is I felt I wasted so much time. And when I suddenly realized what was possible, I didn't want to delay my success. So I was like, I've already wasted like 6-7 years in a corporate job. So I'm like, I'm getting to fucking top speed as fast as possible out of here.
Yeah.
And I'll do whatever the fuck it takes. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it.
That's exactly how I feel. Like I spent 6 years going to PT school and hey, it got me some letters in front of my name. So maybe it's all right. But I do feel like I did waste some time. I did hold myself back by doing that. Like I'm 27 and like to me, I look at some other people in the program, like Veronica's 22.
That's wild, right?
Like there's like Amber and Freya, like they're 24. I'm like, damn, if I started when I was that young, like shit.
Well, this is what happened. Like I'm 35, so now when I see them now, I'm like, Jesus, it's like, it's insane. So, but for me, I actually take a huge amount of pride in being able to help people that young. So I'm like, dude, where you could be by the time you're 30 is insane.
Right.
Like insane.
Like somebody asked me yesterday, like what's going to happen in a year? I'm like, I have no idea. It's been 4 months. I just started this and I think I mentioned this earlier, but to close the loop on it, you know, you showed up on my phone 4 months ago, like 16 weeks ago. Me in America just, oh man, how am I going to make it work? And then yesterday, or was it 2 days ago? Like we're sitting across from each other at dinner. Like, what happened? What happened those 16 weeks?
Well, it's a law of attraction. There's a couple of things that happen with that. One is you backed yourself. Two is you went all in. Yeah. And thirdly is you had the right advice you just executed on. Mm-hmm. And then 16 weeks later, we're sitting at dinner in Dubai and you're making $60,000 a month.
Right.
So it's like,
right.
That's obviously a very extreme example. And I think it's an extreme example because it's the right way. You're an extreme person because you take extreme action, because you don't take ordinary actions because you want to be extraordinary in terms of like who you are in your business because you hold high standards.
Exactly.
And I think people who have the mentality of they want to be ordinary in the way they behave, you will get ordinary results.
100%.
And it's the way I think about everything. It's difficult sometimes in relationships as well. Of like people want you to kind of be normal. It's like the reason I am successful to some degree is that I don't behave like other people. So you kind of have to take the rough with the smooth. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a paradigm for people to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough to, I think maybe in some areas of life, it's not good to be like
it's a dichotomy to be managed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a mad scientist thing. Yeah. It's like, you're really good at doing tasks and stuff, but not everything's a task.
Yeah.
So knowing when to pull back is very important as well. Like if I was me, my intense personality in 100% of life, like it's kind of disruptive, and who was it that was talking about this? Oh man, the billionaire CEO.
Oh, Ibrahim.
No, it was
Jordan?
actually, he was on a podcast. He's the guy from Shark Tank.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about.
Was he on Dire CEO?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I shared the podcast because it's baller. It's really, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'll come back to
so like he just kind of talks about, the successful entrepreneurs, they're not, if you're going to make it 95% signal, 5% noise, that means something's going to suffer, and like you have to be willing to kind of play that game. And it is something to be managed. You can't let it go too far because you could ruin some relationships. Like I always make sure that I'm connecting with my friends. Like once a week, let's get a meal. Like let me organize something where we get together and we can just laugh. Because you forget about that, then it's not going to be around much longer. So if you go too hard in this one area, like talking about that autism thing, like it could hurt you.
But what you said there is also very important because I can give a good example of this because it actually happened yesterday, but it's like if you do things like that and spend time around friends and just change your environment, creativity, ideas, because you think your way to success in business as well as obviously executing, because thoughts lead to actions and actions lead to outcomes.
Right.
So for example, I went with Aidan yesterday. I was like, let's have a meeting in my house. Let's go to the Royal Atlantis. It's fucking baller. And we'll sit in there and have a coffee.
Yeah.
And then and talk about the event and like other stuff. And I came up with this sick idea out of fucking nowhere. I was like, let's do this. I was like, what do you think about this? This is a wild one. He's like, that's fucking sick. It's okay, let's do that. But that's where you sometimes changing your environment triggers different thought processes because it changes it's like a pattern break.
Right. Exactly. I mean, people, it's so funny. There is a huge dichotomy because in order to be successful, you have to do the same thing again and again and again and again and again, even when it's boring. But at the same time, you have to be able to change your paradigm. You have to be able to step out of it and look at it objectively like, okay, what have I been doing for the past month? Okay, I've been doing DMs, I've been doing this, I've been in sales, blah, 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 blah. How could I improve it? You have to step outside in order to improve it further. So how can you be a person that's really good at focusing, but also able to step out? Two skills, not a lot of people have even one of them, but to have both, it takes time. And it's something to be like practiced.
It's your ability to emotionally detach from situations.
There you go.
And I actually think for a lot of people, it's their ability to emotionally detach from money. Because business is obviously the scorecard is profit, income, sales, whatever. And then what happens, I was talking to someone about this yesterday, is that you have a bad day, you have a bad week, and then what happens is you start to change your actions and you play from scarcity, fear, and then you stop doing the things that are making you successful. It's like a downward spiral.
Yes.
And that's where often when things are actually going worse, you kind of need to probably push a little bit more to try and get out of it rather than trying to like pull back into your shell.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
100% makes sense. And that emotional stability is everything. I have unintentionally been working on that, even with little things throughout my whole life. Like if I know that something is pissing me off, it's like, dude, why are you letting that get to you? Get over it. So like, okay, if I'm driving and somebody does something really stupid and I want to look at them. I want to turn my head to see who it is, right? I stop myself. I'm like, what's that going to change? This is just like a split second in your life, and you're going to let this dictate your biology. That's sad.
So the framework I use for something bad happens, something triggers me, is like, am I going to care in 5 hours, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years?
Okay.
If I'm not going to care in 5 years' time, then this whole thing's a fucking waste of time.
Right.
And most of the time, you're going to forget. Like I told you a story about, we had an issue with a load of people hacking me and all this other bullshit earlier. I was like, that was incredibly annoying and stressful at the time.
Yeah.
But kind of like a year afterwards, it's kind of a funny story. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of like an extreme example, and it's not that bad, like even further down the line. So I think ultimately, other than death, all things are kind of fixable. Mm-hmm. So I think people probably need to chill out a little bit more than they do, because when bad things happen, it just sets them off in a negative spiral.
Right. It's huge. Like I've had, TikTok shadow ban me, like that destroyed my leads, but it turned out to be a positive thing because I had to look elsewhere, and that's when we got the ad. Meta has messed up my ad account. I can't even run ads anymore. So like there's a lot of stuff that I could be pissed off at. But when I look at where have I put my energy, it's not in those things. It's in the fundamentals. So I can just run the hell out of that. And when it comes, it'll come. But I'm not going to get upset over it because that's wasted energy. That's wasted time. So I think that people need to stop wasting their energy on stuff that's not producing for them. Like, get over it. It's really a small little speck on the grand scheme.
Do you think that emotional stability you have, which in my opinion, two of our clients got awards at the weekend for doing $200,000 a month.
Yeah.
And I thought about this a lot like last few weeks. I was like, why do certain clients get to that level?
Yeah.
And the number one trait they have is emotional stability. Mm-hmm. Why do you think you have that? Do you think that's from your childhood, from your parents? Do you think that's inherited and learned? Or?
Yeah. I think that this is the most transparent I can be. I am a very emotional guy. Like, I don't know if it comes across. I will cry. Like, I could be listening to a song and I will cry. But I'm also good at like snapping out of it. So it's like I feel my emotions, but I also know that it's okay. It's not anything to turn into a bigger problem. So I accept my emotions, but I move on. That's something that I've had to practice throughout my life because of certain circumstances. So I do think it is like an environment thing and not something I was born with. Italians are pretty emotional.
Fact, to be fair.
You know what I mean? Like they'll throw shit, they'll like curse at you. I pride myself on being able to be emotional without taking action on it. With just being like, yeah, dude, that's part of you. Doesn't need to be all of you.
What's your opinion on the nature versus nurture debate then?
It's both. Okay. 100% both. That's why I said like, I can't, my dad, he came from Sicily. He's the oldest of 9. They were very poor. They had nothing. So he came over to New York to, try to make a business for himself. He said, hey guys, it's cool. The water's warm. Come on over. So then everybody else came. He's the provider. He's like the patriarch of the entire extended family almost. Like everybody respects him for what he's done. So I do feel like because it's like in my blood almost, like to be a business owner, to be a strong authority figure, to be a leader, I've never questioned it. Like I know it's true. So whether I believe it or it was nature, like it's a combination, it is in my blood, but I've also worked on it throughout my entire life.
How much of that do you think is you seeing your father's example he set?
Yeah. It's not even my dad only, like my uncles too, like all the men, they all own businesses. None of them went to school. They went to high school, if that. I think my dad went to 8th grade actually. So like if they can achieve this much success with 8 years of schooling, and I went to get my doctorate, there is no excuse for me. Like it's a shame if I can't make something out of myself. And if maybe that seems a little harsh, but it's like, that's how I look at it. I have all these men in my family who are really powerful people. Like they can just spend money like it's nothing. And I'm like, that's cool. But what that brings is like security for their family. I don't care about the money. I don't care what you have, what toys you have. What peace do you bring to your family? That's interesting.
How long did it take you to get the doctorate?
6 years.
How much did that cost?
Oh man. It's like like 100 grand.
So where I'm going with this, because I see this all the time,
Yeah.
is that, and obviously you buck the trend on this, people spend 100 grand on college, university, or whatever, and then like, oh, let's call it 5 grand to like help build a business. Like, oh, I can't pay that. It's like, well, dude,
So crazy.
You spent $100,000
Yeah.
to like learn the skill, and now you don't know how to market the skill.
And it's a fake incentive, because people, they think if I go to school, I spend this money, there's this promise at the end of it. That doesn't exist anymore. And it's pretty obvious, because you see all these people come out of school and they're like, I can't get a job. Like, yeah, you were sold something. It was a false promise. That's a shame for you, but wake up. Like, school's a business. Sorry, it's the truth. So if you are not willing to bet on yourself because it's not a false promise that somebody gave to you, that's you. That's your fault. You know, nobody's going to do it for you. In the past, you could get a degree and it could get you a cool job. Now, doesn't matter. So I like it. I like that all the the bullshit's kind of like falling by the wayside. And it's like, this is the truth. This is the real reality. It comes down to you. What are you willing to do?
But that's also what I like, because it's the cream will rise to the top, and it's like it's winner takes all.
Yes.
And that's ultimately the way kind of the world should be. And this is where the beauty of the online businesses, technology, entrepreneurship is it's less rigged than it was before. So I worked in like a corporate company before I set my business, and it's basically like an old fucking wives club. And like you were never going to get to the top of that unless you were there for like 25, 30 years, regardless of your skill level.
Yeah.
It's like how long you work there, you then got to like move up, not based upon skill, which is not how the world effectively really should work.
Well, America, I mean, it's a meritocracy, and it's like capitalism. I love it because it really rewards you on like what work you're going to put in. And people get caught up on, oh, it's not fair. It's not that. It's like, what did you make happen? Did you bring value to the world, or did you not? That's what it comes down to. You want to paint? Is anybody going to buy a painting? No. Okay, well then, sorry.
The paint's not any good then. But that's also like Europe and the UK. You come fucking last to get a trophy. Like that's like the society of weakness we kind of push out.
It's gotten so much worse.
But different people have different opinions on this. Sure. Do you think America is the best country in the world to live in still?
To live in, probably yes. To build a business, I think Dubai might be the best.
Okay, so I would say I would agree with you on kind of both of those terms. So I think a lot of Americans take for granted being in like you have fucking no idea how lucky you are. And I come from the UK, so I'm very lucky that I come from the UK. I could have come from like the arse end of wherever else in the world. So like woe is me. But the US is the biggest economy in the world, it's best for capitalism. Some things are obviously sometimes not so great, but like the same as anywhere in the world. I think purely for financial aspect in building a business, Dubai has some extreme advantages. Obviously, number one would be tax, probably number two would be safety. But the US is the most capitalist country in the world and the easiest place to do business by far.
Yeah, I mean, to start like an internet business in America, you have no excuse. There's nothing holding you back. Like we have AI agents that can help you do everything that a secretary used to do, administrator. So to build a business from scratch in America, it's super easy. Like I tell people, like if they're feeling lost in their career, it's like, go talk to ChatGPT, find out what you like. It'll help you figure out what your options are and then start a business. It doesn't take like that much time a day. Like you could work a full-time job and still build a business on the side. And in America, there's nothing holding you back. Why not do it?
What would you say has been your biggest surprise working with us?
Biggest surprise. I guess like, I don't know if this is a good thing to say.
Say it, I don't care.
Like this is a negative trait of mine that I've turned into a positive. When I came into the program and I'd hop on a call, I'd see all these people and they'd be talking about their problems and I'm like, oh man, they must be so far ahead. Like they have all these issues. You know, is this what I'm going to be getting into? But everybody's unique. Like I'm very far ahead in very little time and I don't have any stress, to be honest. Like I'm not stressed about anything. So what surprised me is like what you can achieve with what you guys give us. It really comes down to me. What am I going to do with it? You don't have to use every part of information. You just have to use what you need. It's like what I said on stage. You know what your problem is. If you don't, talk to somebody. They'll help you diagnose what the problem is. Once you have the problem, ask for help. It's that simple. If you are feeling stressed out, then you are not using your resources. So I guess to answer your question, the thing that surprises me is how many people aren't utilizing the resources.
I could go off on a massive tangent on this. So like one of the most frustrating things. How long did it take you to get here?
Like in the plane.
Yeah.
Like 12, 13 hours. Yeah.
Okay. So there are people who are clients of ours who live in Dubai who do not come to the event.
Yeah. It's,
and it dumbfounds me.
I guess another thing that surprises me is the people that came to the event that aren't in the program. Because I've been talking about this, I feel like ad nauseum, because it's sad and it's ass backwards. It was not something I really wanted to do, to come here, because it was time away from my business. There's 14 hours in a plane. I'm going to lose a whole day going back and forth. So that's 2 days out of my month gone. The event, another 2 days gone. Obviously, time zone differences, loads of sales calls gone. So it's resistance for me to come here. But I wanted to do it because I had that resistance, and I liked that. And I knew there was some opportunity. People are coming here when they don't have a business. So you're putting on this show like, oh, I get to be on a yacht, I get to do all this stuff. You're not even willing to bet on yourself. You don't get it. You really don't get it. You haven't put in the work, but you want to live this life. You want to gain information. You don't need information. You need structure. You need to put your money where your mouth is and like do the work instead of feeling like you're a baller because you're on a yacht. It's so like sickening to me.
I'm not going to disagree. And I would say what I find frustrating is a lot of people like to be information junkies, but they're not application junkies. Gosh. And they have so much fear that holds them back from just taking the first step. Yeah. And I think this is the way I explain to anyone listening to this. Is like people think that when you start working with us, the hard work fucking starts. The reality is the hardest thing is actually making the decision to join and to start. Yeah. And most people don't have the fucking minerals to be able to do that. Yeah. And the people who do, they suddenly realize when you have someone who tells you what to do, how to do it, when to do it, it's much easier than you just spinning your wheels like woe is me.
Right. 100%. It's the decision. People love certainty, right? Because it's easy to make decisions off of certainty. If I tell you, oh, this protein shake has 270 calories and 40 grams of protein, you're like, great, that's exactly what I need. Information, it leads decisions for sure. But for something that has to do with you and your future, doesn't matter how much information we give you. You're the one that decides if it works or not, right? So if you're not willing to bet on yourself, it's not going to work. And how do you expect anybody else that you want to work with you to bet on themselves if you can't do it yourself? It's the same processes. It's the same psychology. It's the same decision-making process. If you can't master it, sorry, you're not going to do it.
Do you think I've bet on myself?
You?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you could do more.
Oh yeah, bro, 100%.
I think you could do 100%.
So like, and that's, I was talking to someone about this morning. I can feel it's the up of the hockey stick now. And it's just like, put on a crash helmet and fucking hold the thing together as you kind of go warp speed. And it's exciting times. But also for anyone listening to this, like when anyone, you go new levels, new devils. So when you go to the next level of anything, there's new challenges, there's more stress and whatever. And it's like being able to handle that and grow into person with it. Yeah. And why I asked about the backing yourself thing, I spoke about at the event. It's like, if you don't back yourself, no one will. Right. It's like, even if you have to kind of fucking lie to yourself in your head to get yourself to do the thing, just fucking do it, because then you started, then you're like, well, I'm already doing it. And then you start to believe.
100%. I love that feeling of not knowing, like, I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'll figure it out. Like I'm willing to put in the work to get it to work. And most people, maybe that's what's holding them back, where they think about all the small details involved with it, you know, like taking on this many clients or doing this on a call or doing this in the DMs or doing this on your content.
Dude, I can give you a better example. Someone was worrying about like, oh, what tax structure? Like, bro, like you haven't even fucking sold anything yet. Just like, I was like, just make a load of money and then just pay an accountant and they'll deal with it for you. Right. Like in some essences. So
they
like
really get caught up in the details. It doesn't matter. It's the big rocks, even with fitness and health. Like it's the big rocks. Just focus on how many calories you're eating.
What brand of creatine do I need to take?
Well, yeah, right? Like, or, I mean, this is something people ask me all the time. What kind of protein do I take? Actually, it's not a brand. It's just a guy at my gym that sells it to me. Like, it's wholesale protein. So, yeah, the details. Really, people get caught up in it. And I think it's also from boredom. You know, people are just bored. They just want something to talk about. Like, well, maybe it's this thing that's holding me back. Or maybe I don't have the right creatine. I don't have the right protein. It's like, just do the boring thing.
Consistent actions create consistent outcomes, and most people just can't handle that. And what they also don't understand is that the longer you consistently do something, the better you get at it. So if you're a beginner and you just do something consistently for a long period of time, eventually you become very good at things. Right. You've just done it so many fucking times.
Exactly. I've had the thought of like, what else could I do? How else could I monetize my personality, my brand? And that is a bad thought, because I always have to pull myself back. Like, that looks shiny. That looks fun. I know that's not like, I want to stick with what I'm doing, even if it gets boring, because I know it's the boring stuff that gives you the outcomes.
And everything will get boring after a period of time. 100%. And it's just acceptance.
Yeah. It's like, all right, it doesn't have to be exciting.
What was your biggest takeaway from the event the last 2 days?
I really loved Jordan's talk, because it more so validated what I already believed.
Okay. And what perspective? We're just not giving a fuck. And
you can't give a fuck. And like, again, it is about who's got the biggest balls.
Yeah.
It's really what it comes down to. Are you willing to risk it all? Are you willing to bet on yourself? That's exciting. To me, there is nothing more exciting than that. Like, you talk about dopamine, like what the amount of like dopamine you can get from betting on yourself and then like achieving it. You can't get that anywhere. It's just such a good feeling, and it's hard not to go for it again, because that it's like you'll be rewarded again and again and again if you keep on betting on yourself. So I want more risk. Like, I'm actively looking. I'm like, where else could I like step out of my comfort zone to take it to the next level? And obviously I'm at the beginning of my business. I need to hire coaches. All right. So now I'm handing off another piece of my business to somebody else. Before it was, okay, hiring setters. That was my pride and joy. I was so good at it. Now I have to give it away. So giving something away is risky, because will it work? Will it work as good as it has worked before? I don't know. I don't care. I'm going to do it and make it work.
And that's where I'd say the most important piece of advice I could give you or anyone else is, you can have control or you can have growth. You can't have both.
Right.
So like,
I don't want control.
Like, you can then start to be allowed to let the business go. Yeah. It grows, and it then actually works for you and not you work for it.
Yeah. And that's like, you really can't understand that until you do it. Like, I thought the business was me in the DMs. Now I realize that's not it. Right now I think it's me doing calls. I know that's not it. I think it's me coaching. I know that's not it either. So what is it actually running the business? I'm going to find out.
But that's the fun of the game of entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So much fun. There's nothing I'd rather do.
What would be your final piece of advice for anyone who's listened to your stories, very inspired about what you've done in a very short period of time?
Yeah.
What would be, you had to give them one thing, what would you say to them?
Man. Can I take a second?
You do as well.
And I'm quick to talk, but I think that this is something that if people are hearing me, I hope it's inspiring, because I started this from nothing. Like, I'm not a personal trainer. I'm a physical therapist, and I came into a space that I've never done. You need to put on your blinders, okay? First, diagnose. What is the problem? Once you've done that, there are so many people that have done this before you. This isn't anything new, right? You've been doing this. There are people that have done this before you too. You're only holding yourself back if you're not actively seeking out those answers. So diagnose, get the answer, implement. That's it. It's very simple. You're the only limiting factor in your business. As soon as you can realize that, you're going to explode.
I think that's a beautifully simple way to break that down.
And there's so many intricacies, but it really, like, to me, that's the best way to look at it. Because if you get bogged down by the details, like, good luck.
And at the beginning, the detail doesn't matter. It's just action. Just do the thing.
Exactly. Implement.
Do the thing. Big thank you for your time today, Giacomo.
Thank you for having me.
For everyone who wants to find out more about Giacomo, check out his Instagram and put the links below. And if you also want help in terms of scaling your own business, there's information below the podcast. You can find out how you can work with us. And if you want to check out the next episode, that'll be on screen right now.